Hello, everyone. Saturday afternoon. It's hot in Marietta. I should have worked outside, but instead I worked inside all day. And I got a new cabinet put together and installed in my hallway bathroom. And the only thing I really have left to do in there is to paint the wall. But I'm thinking about maybe taking the shower curtain down and installing a sliding glass door. Well, listen, this is going to be a very short podcast, and I would just got off the treadmill. I walked on the treadmill for a little over a mile, and while I was on the treadmill, these ideas came to me, and I said, well, I'm going to do a very quick podcast on this. I'm going to call this podcast Summer Wine Tips. You know, you drink wine 12 months a year, obviously, so it's not just locked into summer, but we do have a tendency to drink a little bit more wine, I think, from time to time in the summer. I know myself, I drink both reds and whites, but I have a tendency to drink quite a bit more whites in the summer than I do reds, only because they're a chilled wine. So, let me just talk about white wine in summer. Be right back. Forgot something. Okay. One of the things that we struggle with in the summertime with white wines is that how do you keep the white wines cold when you're outside and it's 85, 90 degrees? Well, you can put them in an ice bucket. Ice buckets are not made just for champagne. I have an ice bucket that I keep outside, and I use it occasionally. But another thing is what is called an ice or a wine sleeve. This is an example of a wine sleeve. And what it basically is a frozen sleeve that you put around your bottle of wine, white wine, or you could put it around red wine too, for that matter. You chill your wine, you get your wine cold, and then you slip this wine sleeve on there, and again, it's frozen. You keep it in the freezer, so it's frozen, and it keeps your wine pretty chilled while you're sitting outside. You get done, you throw it back in the freezer, and it's there for the next time. Now, one word of caution. If you buy a bottle of white wine and you want to chill it right away, these wine sleeves are not going to chill it. The volume is just too large for a bottle of wine to be chilled to the normal temperature that you'd want to drink it. But it is a way of keeping wine chilled when you're outside, in addition to if you want to use a wine bucket. Another thing is coasters. Coasters not necessarily to put your wine on, but coasters to put on top of your wine glass. Summertime brings out all those little tiny gnats or fruit flies or little tiny flying beasties or whatever you want to call it. And they love to go swimming in your wine. They're drawn to your wine because of the sweetness and the aromas and everything else. And you go to have a sip of wine and you look down in your wine glass, you got one or two little swimmers down there. Well, you have a couple of choices. Take your finger in there and scoop them out, or just add some protein to your diet. One of the things that you can do is to just put a coaster on top of your wine glass when it's sitting on the table outside. I have some fancy wooden ones, and they're actually I don't know what you call it, wine bug resistors or whatever, that a friend of mine, she bought those for me a few years ago, and they sit on top of a wine glass, and they're nice looking. Well, you can just use a regular coaster, and if you're in my runaway camping group, I've been passing out these round green motorcycle coaster-like things that go under a kickstand when you've got your motorcycle out on a soft area. Those things were absolutely perfect to sit on top of a wine glass if you're outside to keep those little flying beasties from getting in there. And that way you don't have to dip them out. Another way to make wine cool, or keep it cool, I should say, is there's a thing called wine rocks. I don't like them. Wine rocks are, as they sound, they're stone, and they're cut in the shape of ice cubes. And you put them in your freezer. They stay nice and cold in your freezer. And then when you want to drink white wine, you put those in your wine, and they function as ice cubes. Now, why don't you use ice cubes? Ice cubes obviously are going to melt, and if you put ice cubes in your wine, it's going to dilute the wine. It's going to make it watery. So I do use ice cubes. Some people say that that's the worst thing you could do, but we do what we do. And I do sometimes use ice cubes, and my wine does sometimes get a little diluted. But I don't like those ice rocks. So here's another solution. Make some wine ice cubes. Now, you don't have to make let's just say you're going to drink a Sauvignon Blanc. You can make white wine ice cubes out of any white wine. I wouldn't worry too much about if you're drinking a Sauvignon Blanc and you made white wine ice cubes out of Chardonnay. I don't think that's a problem. I really, truly don't. So I haven't done this, but I am going to do it now that I thought about that today. And what you're basically doing is you're just taking an ice cube trays. You're making one with red wine ice cubes and one with white wine ice cubes. And you just put those in your wine, and as they melt, you're not going to dilute the water, or you're not going to dilute the wine any. So I've always used ice cubes because I like my white wines ice cold anyway. All right, how long should you chill a bottle of white wine? Well, everybody likes their wine at different temperatures. I take a bottle of white wine out of my cellar, which is probably about 60 degrees when I bring it upstairs. I put it in the freezer and I leave it in there for an hour. Rarely does it ever start to get slushy. So an hour makes it really, really, really cold. And of course, I like mine that way. You lose a little of flavor, I admit, but I just happen to like it that way. The wine experts recommend that you chill your wine for 30 minutes and then open it and drink it. So it's a matter of preference, but put it in the freezer. It's a last minute thing. If you've got company coming, throw one of those puppies in the freezer. Or if you want to plan, put it in the refrigerator and leave it in there overnight. I have a bottle. I was going to do a wine tasting tonight, but I'm not. I have a bottle of white Italian wine from the Puglia region in Italy that I was going to do tonight. I put that bottle of wine in the refrigerator yesterday to do the wine tasting tonight. It's very cold, but I'm going to drink it instead. I'm not going to do the wine tasting. I'll do another wine tasting maybe tomorrow night. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is corkscrews. Everybody has corkscrews. Some people are getting to the point that they're using battery-operated corkscrews. They're getting really fancy. Corkscrews can go from $1.95 to $105. I have two Languedoc corkscrews with bone handles. I bought one. My mother bought me one many, many years ago, and I use those. And those are a little at the top end. They're over $100. But most people use the kind like an Angel or a Wings or whatever. That's absolutely fine. You can use any type of corkscrew you want. Now, I said some people are starting to go with battery corkscrews. Not a bad idea, but what happens if that's the only corkscrew you got and you decide, I'm going to drink some wine, and your batteries are dead? So, my point I'm trying to make is always have an extra corkscrew laying around the house. I'll make one final comment. I always have 2 or 3 corkscrews in my camper. I have corkscrews in my wine totes. I have 2 or 3 corkscrews laying around the house. I got to a camping rally down in Cove Lake, Tennessee about 3 years ago. So I got there in the afternoon, and I was just setting up my campsite, and I hear somebody yelling, Wayne, 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 we're happy you're here. So I look up, and one of my fellow campers, he and his wife were kind of walking quickly toward my campsite. So they got up there, and I said, hey, guys, it's great to see you. What's up? And they said, do you have a corkscrew with you? I said, well, of course. And they said, we showed up. We've got wine. We want to drink wine. We don't have a corkscrew. So I said, hey, not a problem. So I rummaged through my camper and I found a corkscrew and I gave it to him and I said, keep it. I don't need it. I've got quite a few of them. So it's never a bad idea to have an extra corkscrew or two laying around. Okay, well, listen, I just wanted to come on very quickly and give you some summer wine tips. And I will let you go. I don't think I'm going to do a wine tasting tonight. I'm just a little tired. Did walk on the treadmill, worked in my bathroom and everything. So, and I still got a lot to do. I have a big camping trip coming up this coming weekend. And I have got my camping gear from one side of my family room to the other. I've got to get all that crap put together so I can easily load it into my truck. The other thing is, it looks like it's going to be raining for the entire camping weekend, and it's a 3-night trip there, or a 3-night stay there, so that is not thrilling me. And I'm not known for camping in the rain, and I have been known to cancel reservations because of rain. This one is a Virginia State Park. It is expensive, and I paid well over $100 for the 3 nights. And if I cancel, obviously I lose everything. But, you know, as you get older, you have to make decisions in life. What's important to you? So, do I want to see my friends? Of course I want to see my friends. Do I want to camp in the rain? No. So, is it worth it to lose the money and not camp in the rain? Maybe. So we'll see what's going to happen on that one. Well, listen, everyone take care, and I will see you the next time I come on here and think about these summer wine tips. I'll see you later. Bye.